Welcome to the second installment of the Apple III series. Last time I showed you an overview of the Apple III base system and a quick introduction. In part 2, we will have a closer look at my actual system and its internals. First, the Apple III base computer with its built-in disk drive. The Apple III was built for larger software projects as for example database or mailing software. Therefore, they also offered a 5 MB hard disk called profile drive, a must-have for a large amount of data like accounting and bookkeeping. More about the advanced memory addressing in part 3, about the software architecture. On top of the tower is a Monitor 3, also specifically designed just for the Apple III. My system has also 2 external disk drives. On top of the drive, you can see the silent type thermal printer. This was Apple's first own printer development released together with the Apple III. The Apple III has a built-in support for the printer and no extra printer card is needed. There was also an interface card for the Apple II available, which I will show you in my Apple II videos. Just a word about the price of the system. The Apple III was a very expensive system, and the setup you see here would have set you back in excess of $30,000 in today's money. However, prices did plunge quickly, and at the end the base system was sold for as low as $500. Nowadays they are collectible computers, but still fairly affordable. A base Apple III system is about $500, and a system like I have should be in the range of $1,000 to $1,500. There are many groundbreaking things the Apple III did, and in the last part of the series we'll go and run through them. The Apple III was for sure a commercial failure for Apple, summing up $65 million of losses. But for now, a little goodie, the incredible startup sound of a profile hard drive. All I can say is, gentlemen, start your engine. Of course, this is through the eyes of a vintage electronic enthusiast. Back then this was a loud noise, but remember, it is 1980. Anybody remember what noise a dozen typewriter did back then? Well, what the profile drive is doing is a self-test and checking all the sectors. The ready LED will blink during that process. If the ready LED is on constantly, the drive is ready to operate. So here we have the profile drive, the 5 MB drive. There was a 10 MB upgrade kit, but I have never seen one. You had to change some hardware, and 5 MB at the time was a lot of memory. The profile drive often is mistaken as an appliance to the Lisa. It was really designed for the Apple III, but lack of commercial success mean that the Lisa got also this drive as a standard hard drive. Let's have a look at the back side. Connectors, not much to see. There is a power connector, there is the connector for the interface ribbon, and the on-off switch. Opening the case is very easy. Remove the 3 screws here and just flip the whole case open. And here it is. So you see the big behemoth of a hard disk, the 5 megabyte drive. Absolute huge compared to our standards by now. And very robust. I mean, this is a 40-year-old hard drive. It still works perfect. Here is a logic board for the hard drive. And below the logic board, in the same size roughly, is a power supply. Despite being an early hard drive, it was, as said before, a very robust design. So the whole device was often used to transport data between one user to another. You just put all the data you had on the drive, packed up the drive, went to your friend or your business partner, and just exchanged data, vast amount of data. 5 megabytes in this format on floppy disks. Wow, that would be a lot of floppies. Now let's turn our attention to the main unit. Opening the case is very easy. There are only two screws and you don't have to unscrew them completely, just turn them 90 degrees and you can lift up the top cover without any problems. Here we go, and you can see the massive aluminium chassis Apple built for the Apple III. So here is a built-in disk drive under a nice RF shield like the FCC probably wanted to have. As said, the disk-free drives are almost identical to the disk 2 drives, but more in a moment on that. The Apple III has also audio built in. There is a speaker, and it's not a beeper, it's really a speaker and an audio deck inside the Apple III which works on it. The audio deck can generate tones between 31 Hz to over 5000 Hz. So it's clearly better than just a beeper. Let's have a look at the back side of the Apple III. At first, the disk drive connector. That is connecting the external disk drives. Next to it, we have two ports which look very similar to game ports, and actually, yes, they can be used as game ports, but they're multi-purpose. The first port is also for the silent type printer. That's a built-in interface. And the second port is more like a joystick port. However, the Apple III joystick is not the Apple II joystick. You can't connect an Apple II joystick to this port, even if it fits. It will damage either the computer or your Apple II joystick. Next, we have a video port for color output. And again, this port will fit your Apple II GS color monitor, but the colors will not be right. So you need a kind of interface between this port and your Apple II GS color monitor to make it work. However, it shows all the graphics, just the colors are out of sync. Next in line is an Apple III monochrome monitor output. You can connect also any Apple II monochrome monitor. They will work perfectly there. If you wish and you want to listen to the beautiful audio of the Apple III on headphones, there is a headphone audio jack. And last but not least, the RS-232 serial output, where you could put your serial printer or your modems on it. This is exactly like the Apple II serial card. The same function, so this is one-to-one a copy built into the Apple III. Last but not least, the power input and of course the nice on-off switch. This is the bottom side of the Apple III, and please just ignore all the felt pads. This came over the years. I put them on, I never bothered to get them off there. What we will do is we will first open the large area where the motherboard is, and then the smaller on the left side, below that is a power supply.